finish on lap, it was either number 2 or number 1. Anyway, Daryl in the Alpine that is leading the way in the field as it stands right now. Opens his DRS. Now, while we talk about this, we're going to just go through Portimao as its history. It was part of the revised Formula 1 calendar for 2020 and 2021. It hasn't featured since on the real-life calendar, but in the game, I think it's been a big hit with fans, so it has stayed on the games, and fans have been able to enjoy it ever since its induction in those years. And this was actually opened in 2008 to originally attract Formula 1 to this circuit, but unfortunately financial situations fell foul to those plans, and ultimately COVID is what brought it into the radar. And between 2008 and 2019, there was actually a chicane at Turn 1, which has since been removed. But ultimately, we now have the T1 we all know and some don't love. Let's put it nicely. It's also hosted events at MotoGP ELMS, European Le Mans Series, the Dutch Touring Masters, or whatever that's called, in 2022, and of course the World Touring Car Championship between 2010 and 2012. But anyway, now back to this. We are seeing Daryl on the first flying lap through Turn 1. He will be struggling because he'll be the first one to experience the track evolution. So a bit of a lock-up there into Turn 2. Then turn number 3 here. Usually you can keep it out flat if you've got the setup right. Of course, fastest in sector 1 there. Then this heavy braking zone into turn number 4. Bit of a challenge to get right, especially if your setup isn't very friendly to your rear tyres. Quincy is the next driver to start out a flying lap. In fact, we have a few drivers starting out, just trying to get the track involved in the right way. And Daryl a bit squirrely there, coming out the exit through sector 2 now. Through this little kink, and then, of course, a bit of a blind corner. There's an uphill section here, and you kind of have to find the right line. It can be a bit weird when you first come around to it, but then when you practice it over again, you'll get there eventually. But sometimes in a racing situation, when you're close to the car in front of you, you really do have to be careful when you approach that section. Daryl has looked solid this lap, but I don't think this will be representative. Remember, he was the first to set out a hot lap last time around, but ultimately didn't end up being representative. It's a 1:18.41.10, 4:10 even. So that is the first lap set. Now we're going to go on board with Scott. So Scott, remember, retired in the last round, and he sets a 1:18.525. So as Daryl sets something representative, Pleasant Stake, of course, your previous winner and current championship leader, is currently on a roll, and it's Trugster who's set the fastest lap, 1:17.490. Andanan then coming in, following off his great pace from Silverstone, but then Andy Andre, needing to come out of the woodwork, comes in with a great lap, 1:17.363. Quincy as well, 1:18.267. Scott, though, will be looking to improve. Kavashka with a 1:19.166. Toby with a 1:19.398. And then a race chase coming in. He also retired from the race last time around, and he qualified 6th. So at the moment, a couple of places behind where he was, and Quincy looks like he's doing a good job for himself. He's currently in 6th, but then fellow Son in 5th there came in with a 1:17.926, but so did Rush the Syria. Then Jolly Boy John actually came in as well, both with 1:17.7s there. So 4th and 5th place as it stands right now. Of course, Rush the Syria showing great pace last time around as well, but unfortunately got pipped for 4th at the last lap by Jolly Boy John, so he will be looking to make amends this race as well. He's been your most improved between season 2 and 3, so he is definitely looking to keep that momentum going this round as well. Now, in terms of the mid-table battle, that is quite an involved battle. That contains Energetic 6, Tabran, Daryl, Quincy, and Kavachka. At the moment, it is Quincy leading the way from everybody as it stands right now. So Quincy really doing well in that mid-table battle, which is really between. But then Mr. Wouter, of course, who didn't attend last week, comes in with a 1:18.110. So Mr. Wouter is a bit of an unknown to us, as well as Evil32. F432 was promised to be fast by Antonam, but at the moment, it's only a 1:19.999, and that's only good for 16th place as it stands right now. So Evo mustn't be on the pace or must have something wrong in the setup. Herman the German as well will be looking to improve on things as well, but currently on 17th with a 1:20.025. So we're looking to kind of find more pace as the qualifying session goes along. But don't forget, we do have track evolution. And just to kind of explain what that means, that's where the surface of the track is full of dirt, and as you drive over it, you clean it up essentially, and then of course the grip gets much better. Daryl has actually come in with another time of a 1:17.722. That puts him up into 4th place, so he pips Rush Nasiri for 5th place again. Of course, Rush Nasiri will be all too familiar with that feeling, but then fellow Son as well pips Daryl for 4th as well. So Daryl looking very good around here. Daryl definitely dropped down the grid through qualifying, but it looks like here he's found something in the setup which has been preferable for him. Saiju redeeming something. I'm afraid the sound redeems don't work during my commentaries, but hello Saiju, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? My bad there. You might want to refund that. I should have turned it off, but I didn't think to do that. But anyway, Enzo as well finished in the top 5 last time out as well. Currently sits in 8th in qualifying. But I think the biggest progress here from last week is definitely Daryl, currently in the top 5 as it stands right now. And looking like he's making an impression. We still have 3 drivers to make a lap time as it stands right now. That's with Quan and Skid Solo, and of course Energetic 6, who we will ride on board with for this lap of Portimao. So coming through, that is turn number 3, now through turn number 4, and of course it's coming flat. That's not gonna be invalidated, surely it will. And in fact, it's apparently, according to the track map, that's fastest in sector 1. We'll see how that holds, though. Energetic 6 looking very, very unstable as it stands right now. Now, coming through here, Loudsey Look will need to keep an eye on his exit. That's where he seems to be struggling all right through here in 4th gear. Anna would love it. He sure would. And we should get him in here right now. Wide line through here, and actually that is the perfect line that you want to take. You want to go as wide as possible, try and meet that apex. And DeAndre as well has started another lap. He is not too far behind this Red Bull either. But anyway, we are currently focused on Energetic 6. He hasn't set a time in the session so far. With 10 minutes to go, he's in a perfect predicament with track evolution halfway through. Halfway through its process. Here we go, though. Energetic 6 approaches the line. It won't be pole, but it will be 11th place with a 1:18.327. So at least he's in the points here. And with Quincy, who of course he was battling with last week. But look at how unstable the car was through the sausage curb. This update coming into effect and doing what it needs to do. Evo is on an outlap as it stands right now. So we're just waiting on Skid Solo and Quan to set some laps, and then we'll have a full representation of the grid. But the biggest disappointment, I think, is Scott and the Haas as it stands right now, unless he's just found something in the setup as of right now. But DeAndre improves on his personal best. It's a 1:17.2, so all of a sudden, and Daryl's in 2nd place as well. I didn't have him on the cards. This is impressive from the Alpine. Yes, there was a little update. And basically, the sausage curbs now unsettle the car, so you can't actually abuse the sausage curbs like you would. So now, it's a bit more reminiscent of F123, I suppose. But I'm yet to drive it myself. But at the moment, I can definitely see that the sausage curbs didn't carry as much momentum. But yeah, we saw an Andonan 2nd place as well. But what can Scott do? 5th position. That is a real improvement of 8 tenths. And all of a sudden, the worries in the Haas are at least put to bed for now. But Rush Nasiri as well will be thinking of this and saying, I really need to improve here. Jolly Boy John, he's up 4 tenths on his personal best so far. So let's see what he can do. This would actually put him good enough for 2nd position or 3rd, depending on how it works out. Let's see. As he comes across the last DRS section zone, it's only 5th. Never mind. Forget what I said there. hyped it all up for absolutely nothing. But, well, I say nothing. He pipped Scott from 5th position, and that's the RB up into 5th position. So his teammate, however, is in 15th, not quite doing the best job in the world, and Pleasant Stake as well, and there's somebody in the gravel. Didn't quite catch who that was. I think that was actually the Mercedes of Quan there. I think he was just getting out of the way. Oh, wow, lock up there, and the snap from the rear. That was a very odd thing to see. I don't know how that happened, to be honest with you. That was a very strange snap. So, of course, Saiju is very happy. Apparently, Andy Andre being Romanian, so Romanian dominance being shown. One of the RBs there was parked to the side, but Quan is only on an outlap, so he didn't really have to. It was Mr. Wouter out of nowhere. That's pole position with a 1:17.211, so it looks like, if you're looking to guarantee pole, be in the 1:16s. His name's so hard, but Truckster coming out of nowhere. 1:17.0 as well. Truckster now on pole in the Haas. Davey, says Nikki. Hello there, how are you doing? I'm doing okay, just for those that want to know. Anyway, Jolly Boy John now back into the pits after his pole. Well, initial lap put him into 5th, but then Daryl, Mr. Walter and Truckster then jumped a hell of a ton of positions for 2nd and pole. So Truckster at the moment in the front seat yet again, like he's always been. We saw it in the preseason, and then we also saw it in the last round. I believe someone else has come as well. I think Fellow Son has improved a couple of positions. Is Fellow Son on a lap right now? Oh, I think he was, but I think it was just a warm-up lap, so I believe he's going to get underway now. So Fellow Son underway with his proceedings in qualifying. And at the moment, through turn 1 here, so Fellow Son as well will be looking for a good result, hoping to be within at least the top 5 like he was last time around. Fellow Son coming through, that is... Let's just have a look. That was turn number 4. Now through to turn number 5. Looking a bit slow, so I wonder if he's abandoned the lap. No, he's kept his foot in it so far. Currently 9th position, which isn't bad if you want points. You need to be in the top 15 positions if you want to score points. Pleasant Stake is also on a lap. Of course, your pole sitter from last time. He'll be disappointed with how things have going so far. Currently 13th position, and way down on where we expected him to be. So has he got something in the tank to reserve before it goes out? But Skid Solo and Quan still haven't set a lap. And with 4 minutes to go, they are beginning to run out of time. We did see Quan go on an out lap, but there must have been something in the setup which wasn't sitting right with him, because now he has not set a time since we saw him, and now he's coming out again to try set another outlap. He lets his teammate of Rush the Series through and one of the RBs, so we need to cut to Rush the Series here and see what he's up to. 7/10 off of pole, but honestly, it is tight between, let's see, 14th and 1st. There is only 9/10 or nearly a second separating them all, so this is really impressive stuff in terms of gaps. So it really is, if you can find a couple of tenths here or there, it really could leap you up a few positions. So at the moment, it looks like this qualifying won't be decided until the last driver has come across the line, and I wonder if that's what Skid Solo is waiting for. Of course, remember, you have to remember, both the Ferraris qualified P19 and P20, so they are looking to bounce back from what happened last time around in Silverstone. We'll see if Skid Solo has anything in the tank this time around. A lot of grass there from Rush the Series. That was a bit of a weird line to see. I don't think this is going to be... Well, it's not on a fast lap right now, so he will just be getting underway. Well, at least I hope so. Yeah, look, it looks a little slow coming out the corner there, but it looks like he is underway. So let's go. Rush the Series now starts his hot lap. So coming through turn number 1. How is it looking? It's looking slow. He's abandoned yet another lap. What is Rush the Series doing? It is very odd. He's definitely not trying to go for a push lap. Is he just warming those tyres up? Are they a bit cold, maybe? We'll cut to someone else in the meantime. Scott has already had a lap invalidated, so this lap will not count. Race Chase, on the other hand, of course, involved. Well, actually didn't finish the race last time around. Qualified 6th position, though. Will, of course, be trying to get we'll at least be trying to get a mix in the top 5 at the very least, considering where he qualified last time around. But at the moment, definitely, well, if he can find anything, just a couple of tenths, he will be in a good position to fight for the top 5. But at the moment, he needs to finish this lap and make sure it's personal best. We will keep an eye on how it is through here as well. Again, the drivers seem to be cutting that little bit of grass there. They're becoming lawnmowers for whatever reason, but I don't think... I'm actually beginning to think, yeah, no, Race Chase wasn't on a fast lap there. So had me fooled and then nearly sped in the pit lane, got it stopped in time. So actually, the lap he did was only good enough for 8th, and now Herman the German has come across the line, currently in 7th, as Andy Andre retires from the 7th session. And oh my word! Adnan in the Kick Sauber, 168. Race Chase also retires. Mrs. Apple's 24S also saying hello. But at the moment, it's Adnan in the Kick Sauber, who is on pole position. He'll be happy about that. As Quincy also retires, only from 15th, though. Pleasant Stake on an outlap. Your pole sitter from last time. Can he improve? In the dying embers of qualifying, there are drivers coming across the line now to start flying laps. And some just haven't actually started one as well, but they're on flying laps. They must have been abandoned for whatever reason. So like I said, lots of activity. Kwan won't set a lap, I don't think. I don't know how much time is left. Only 4 seconds. Kwan won't set a time. He's had to abandon his lap, and so is Skid. Skid and Kwan will not set times. So shocks again. Ferrari will not be happy with Skid Solo. No time from him at all. Pleasant Snake also won't set a time. Pleasant Snake from 1st last week to 15th this week. He'll be sorely disappointed with that, but we'll have to keep an eye on everybody else. Trunkster won't go faster. Mr. Wouter, lap time invalidated. He won't go faster. So at the moment, Adnan looks safe in 1st. Daryl also invalidated a time. Herman the German is the only one, but not on a quick time at all. So that's the end of his. Scott is fastest in Sector 2, looking like he's on an improvement himself. He's in the Haas. Of course, he retired last week. Can this qualifying session at least begin his redemption for this week? Let's see. It's a 112, 113, 114, 117-2. That is good for 3rd position as it stands. So Haas, look out the podium spots for 2nd and 3rd in qualifying. Who else is on a flyer? Energetic 6, but it is way too slow of a lap, so that is not really going to count. But it is Adnan in the Kick Sauber who is on pole position. Oh my word, I did not see that coming at all. Adnan pole, Trunkster in 2nd, Scott in 3rd, Mr. Wouter in 4th, Andy Andre with a bit of a shock outside the podium in 5th, Daryl in 6th, Jolly Boy John in 7th, Herman the German 8th, Race Chase in 9th, Bellow Son in 10th, Energetic 6 in 11th, Enzo in 12th, Rush the Siri, disappointing qualifying yet again compared to last week, in 13th, Evor in 14th, Pleasant Snake, your pole position sitter last time around, in 15th. He has a ways to go before he can look at Haas out qualifying both Ferraris. Sounds realistic. And there is your confirmation of how things will stand when we start the 50% race. So, one and an in pole, of course, we will go through this again in due time. So, well, who do you think is going to win? Chat, let's have your predictions in right now, just while I get a couple of things together. we have a pole position. Well, we have a very tight grid, so it looks like we will have an excellent Grand Prix on our hands, but also a lot of drivers invalidating their lap time. So it looks like as well, track limits could also be an issue as well. I don't know how many 3-second penalties we will see in certain cases, because I know it is rather easy to run right here. Look at that overcast. It looks like it will rain as well during the Grand Prix. We have now loaded into the race session. This might not be good for some drivers. So let's see. We have something. We have a Will Andernan win from pole position is the current pole. So we'll see how that all plays out. Now, while we wait for things to get underway, I just want to check something real quick. Yep, looks okay to me. 5-minute break is currently ongoing right now. So, in factual fact, let's see. We will actually go back to the webcam. So, at the moment, as it stands right now, Pleasant Snake is not going to be too happy with that qualifying performance. Down in 15th, he really needs to look for an improvement as it stands right now. As well as we will Andy Andre as well. He really does need to find something this week. Remember, he retired from Silverstone, so he has scored no points. And when you're trying to hold a championship, you never want to be without points coming out of the first round, really. We also need to see improvements from Race Chase, who of course DNF'd. Scott as well in the Haas, who DNF'd. And also as well, we need Quan to actually find some pace. He is the first two pieces of pace we've seen from him haven't been looking too good. So Quan as well really needs to find something. He set no qualifying time, starts 19th. And also we have Skid Solo. Yet again, no time, and that means the Ferrari qualifying pace again is not looking promising. So Skid Solo needs to dig deep in this race and find something. I am going to take a couple of minutes break just so I can get some water down me. Enjoy the synthwave. I will see you in a couple of minutes. All right, chat? All right. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, that is a couple of minutes, so we will get back to it. As it stands right now, we will just wait for everybody to get underway. The start time shouldn't be too far away. Now, Andernan on pole, he'll be very happy about that. in the kick Sauber, but more importantly, Haas looking to redeem themselves. Truckster, remember, looked like he was in position for the win, but got that 3-second penalty, and that's just been one of Truckster's downfalls, and as well as Scott as well. Remember, in the pre-race in Austria, Scott actually made contact with Truckster, and that sent them both down the order. So they are gonna be hoping for none of those activities. But anyway, we will now get we will go through your countdown for one last time. So let's get the music rolling and let's go through the grid one last time. So in pole position, like we've said a million times already, Andernan in the kick Sauber, Truckster and Scott in the Haas cars. Secure second and third. Mr. Wouter in the Williams leading the way. Williams, remember, only 1 point in the constructors. This is good so far. Andy Andre, no points from the last race, starts 5th, needs to find something here. Darrell in the Alpine starts 6th, massive improvement for him. Jolly Boy John and Herman the German secure the RBs for 7th and 8th. Race Chase in 9th, looking to make improvements. He was 6th and DNF'd from the last race as well, so a lot riding on him right now. Fellow Son and Energetic 6 lockout 10th and 11th in both Red Bulls. Enzo also looking for improvements. He qualifies 12th. Rush the Syrian 13th. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that, but there's a spin from Enzo. That's not going to be good, but he'll just reset to the grid, I'm sure. Evor in 14th. First race from him since beginning season 3. He did not attend race number 1. Pleasant Snake, your pole position and winner from round 1, down in 15th. And Mount Everest effort to climb. Quincy, point scorer last time around, down in 16th, outside the points as it stands right now. Kovachka as well, point scorer last time out, starts outside the points. Toby as well, another point scorer, starting down in 18th. Skid Solo and Quan round out your 20 drivers, and Anand comes to the start-finish line now, and we'll see how it is. But anyway, Sidhu actually saying it sucks how only the drivers can see the forecast and not the spectators as well. Does a little bit, but there are certain ways around that. Unfortunately, I just haven't looked into because I haven't been all that well. So that I will have to look into this week, but there is a way to do it, essentially. But we are currently waiting for all the drivers to line up. Enzo takes his place. Back just in time. I just read your comment as well. But anyway, we've got the perfect camera angle, we've got the perfect place. We can see the red lights. There are 5 red lights on your screen. And we are racing in Portimao. Unfortunately, Toby gets a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, but Andernan holds on to the lead for now. The Williams, oh no! Mr. Wouter and the Haas of Scott make contact in turn number 1, and he is down to 6th. But at the moment, Race Chase down to 10th as well. Lots of drivers slipping and sliding with each other. Evor up 2 positions from 3 from 14th to 11th. Fellow Son as well improving. RBs are going side by side for 8th, and there's contact with the sister team of Red Bull. I do believe some of the front wing fell off there as well. Quan as well improving up 3 positions. Pleasant Snake though, and Enzo. Oh no, they must have been involved in contact because look at this. Pleasant Snake is... Oh, wow, there was nearly contact with Skid Solo. So Pleasant Snake not only has lost out on his qualifying spot, he's also lost out potentially on the chance of a race win. But now we are looking at Quincy there. Get past Energetic 6 for 13th. And now we've got the Red Bulls... Well, the Red Bull sister teams battling one another. Fellow Son and Herman the German there. We've also got Mr. Wouter battling with Andy Andre here. In the end, it was the RB that won out of Herman the German in that battle. Antonin, of course, first across the line, and he sets the fastest up. But look at Truckster, not too far away. But there's Mr. Wouter already trying to make up positions there, and he is wow up into 5th. And I thought Andy Andre was going to show him a new one. But anyway, and now look at this. Darrell trying to find the outside of Mr. Wouter. That is not going to be easy. As it stands right now, battles all over the place, to be honest. Quincy looks like he's had a moment, and that's with Kovachka and somebody else. So that is unfortunate. That will mean the McLaren of Pleasant Slate gets his grid position back and now improves up into 14th with... Oh, no, there's an Alpine in the wall. Daryl is in the wall. He continues on. But as it stands right now, he's got a broken front ring. That left end plate is gone. But Truckster... And now Pleasant Slate, of course, Toby needs to serve that drive-through penalty within 3 laps. Now, I just want to say as well, DRS is activated on this lap. That is a rule change from 2023 to 2024 as well. And now we have Evor making his way up the field as well. He just overtakes Race Chase for 8th position, so a lot happening here. Yeah, like I just said, Saidu, thank you very much. But Andanan now sets the fast lap at 1:20.730. But what does Truckster have an attack here? Do we see a change of lead? No, we don't. Truckster not alongside enough, and he might be using Andanan to try and carry him away from his teammate. And there has been more drama at the back of the field. Toby has pitted for his drive-through, and Quan, disappointing round for him so far, as we see Enzo and Kavashka go side by side. That is only for 16th, my guy. But at the moment, it all settles down, and Quincy gets himself back in the points, as does Skid Solo. But right now, Pleasant Slate is on a hell of a recovery drive, up into 13th, despite that poor start. He is definitely looking like he has got himself into a good position. And Quincy has had a moment at turn number 5. Don't quite know what happened. It looks like he just lost the rear end and has lost touch with the points. So that means Quan as well improves up into 17th. And Kavachka comes back into a points pay position as well. Quincy has another moment. I think that's... Yes, it is. There might be damage on the rear end of Quincy's car, and that might be why he's struggling. Toby and Daryl, of course, are not too far behind this. And, of course, Daryl will have had to replace his front wing. So the bottom 2 really needs to try and find a way. But there's been an overtake in his fellow son on Race Chase there. So Race Chase loses yet another position there. But we need to focus on the battle for the lead. It's not changed, but Herman the German sets the fastest lap. There's a lot happening on track. Portimao serving up great racing. 3 wide into turn 1. Potentially there's a Mercedes on your inside, fellow. Careful. And look at this. All the way down into turn number 3. Side by side. It's for 10th position as well. This is great racing for everybody. So far, so good. Fellow son carries it on the outside here. He also has DRS, so he should be able to get a gap going. He does. Can Rush the Siri take advantage of it? No, he can't. He gets concertinaed. And Kavachka as well makes the overtake for 14th. So the McLaren's currently 14th and 13th. But that is until Rush the Siri and Pleasant Slate goes side by side and gets 12th place. Nice work from Pleasant Slate there in the McLaren up into 12th. But it seems like their leading pair have gone away. But we are focusing on everywhere else. But Enzo as well, battling with the Ferrari of Skid Solo, and that gets him up into the points pay position of 15th place. Quincy still going for now, so it looks like he hasn't had too much trouble since we last went on board with him. But let's have a look. The racing has been really close so far. DRS will be powerful indeed, and guess what? Truckster has got it yet again. Not close enough to have a go into turn 1, and Energetic 6 with the fastest lap. Andy Andre there tried to have a go at Scott into turn 1, but of course remembered what happened to Mr. Walter on lap 1 and maybe just thought better of it. But that's actually given Mr. Walter potentially a chance to look at him here, because look, well, they both have DRS, but Mr. Walter with the better exit here. Kavachka makes a move for 14th position on Enzo. So I think Kavachka and Enzo trying to go as Truckster. Oh no, Truckster! Truckster! Not again! Not again! A 3-second penalty early on in the race, and his day is ruined yet again. That is going to be a very that is going to be, unfortunately, carried to the end of the race. So at the moment, he is unfortunately out of this lead battle. So, as it stands right now, Scott won't be actually... Well, he'll hang on to 2nd place at the very least, Truckster, if things stay as they are right now. But, of course, if one safety car is to come into this, then that's it. Of course, looking at the tyres right now, it seems most have gone on to softs, apart from Enzo, Kvachka, Scott, and DeAndre, Mr. Outer, but Mr. Outer overtaken by Herman the German here, and that is up into 5th position. So look at all this action happening right now. Definitely seems like it's all side-by-side action. So Portimao providing some great racing for everybody involved, but look at that, there's a dive by Jolly Boy John there. And that was for 6th position. Mr. Welter suffering in this part of the Grand Prix as it stands right now, as Toby makes a move on Quincy. That is for 18th position. So Quincy really having a bad day at the office. And Kvachka and Enzo are doing battle yet again, down in 15th. And Quincy and Toby definitely swapping around here for 18th. So let's see what they can do. Quincy will have the DRS. Does he get him in going into turn number 5? Not at the moment, but that is a bit wide from Toby there. So Quincy will go alongside. No, he will not. Didn't quite have the traction coming out the turn there, so that is all reset. But Truxton now has sadly eliminated this battle. But look at this. Jolly Boy John and Evil do battle for 7th position. Jolly Boy John wins out for now, but remember, Evil has that DRS, and so we go on board with him. And look, there's battles ahead as well, so things could all be changing. Jolly Boy John does have the DRS to at least defend himself, but it's not enough, as Andy Andre as well up into 3rd, and Evil there. Oh, there's several cars going wide. Evil was one of them, but at the moment it seems like Herbert the German up into 4th. Scott in the Haas definitely suffering, trying to defend his teammate's position. Honestly, as it stands, Energetic 6 as well, taking advantage of Evil's misfortunes. 10-second penalty for Herman the German, though. Corner cutting and gaining a place. So Herman the German, unfortunately, in a really bad position. But now we have a battle yet again for 16th position between Skid Solo and Enzo. They go side by side into turn 5. Skid Solo wins out for now, but at the moment, side by side yet again, coming out the turn through turn 6 now, turn number 7. It's Enzo who wins out yet again. Of course, he's on that hard compounded tyre. Quincy and Toby as well, yet again doing part number 3 or 4 of their battle. 3-second warning for Quan as well, and really has been suffering in that Mercedes, not having a good time of it at all. Now as a track limits penalty, but Truckster did actually manage to take the lead away from Andanan, but little to no difference at all, because he has that 3-second penalty hanging over his head. So Andanan knows all he has to do is hang on to the DRS, and then he will be in he'll be in a good position towards the end of the race. But remember as well, needs to keep it between the white lines, and there we go. Fellow Son as well taking a 3-second track limits penalty for the same thing as, oh no, and look at Fellow Son as well into the wall, and that is not gonna really make his race any better. That's a bit of an unsafe rejoin there, but no one was really in the way, so he'll continue on. No virtual safety car or safety car planned. Pleasant Stake at least is up into 10th position, so for him that's going to be seen as an improvement. But things are finally starting to calm down, so we can look at the overall race as it stands right now. So we might be seeing pit stops, I would say, on the latter stage of the race. So I would say in the high 10s we would see the pit stops. So between lap 15, lap 20 is where we'll begin to see pit stops. It's a short lap around here. I know that there's a lot of traction, so mainly the rear tires will take a lot of the wear, especially in the middle section. But as it stands, we're just a bit too early in that for now. The only one to make a pit stop is, of course, Daryl, thanks to a damaged front ring, and I do believe it will be Fellow Son who will be next on that list. Damaged front ring for himself, as Rush Siri takes away 10th place from Pleasant Stake. Rush Siri, of course, one of our most promising drivers, as Fellow Son takes a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's his race all undone. No, it's not raining, just must be a graphics glitch. But Quan and Quan improves up into 15th, 16th even, as does the rest of the drivers. They also improve a few positions. As it stands right now, though, Herman the German does have a penalty to serve as well. We're looking at the battle for 5th position here. Well, for 3rd position overall. So this is, at the moment, quite the train that Andy has formed. The top two have ran away. They're in a race of their own as it stands right now. Lots of racing has been had as it stands right now. So we are already approaching lap number 10 out of 33. Look how close Andernan is, though. Can we at least see one swap for position for the lead? I believe we can. That is the inside line. DRS open. Easy as you like. Truckster is now relegated to second place. Quan has left. Quan has left. I do believe that is a disconnect. He isn't in the pits. Welcome to CFR. Roman Quality Trade Services. That's at stake as well. Swaps position with Rush the Syria. They are not catching Evo anytime soon, unfortunately. That gap isn't coming down. But yeah, Quan has rejoined, so he will be able to get back into the car and continue on as he was. At the moment as well, battles following, and there's Scott there in the house. Unfortunately, had a bit of a moment coming out turn 5. We have seen a few drivers have this moment. Mr. Walter up into 5th, but Andy Andre has been allowed a gap, and now all of a sudden, Herman the German is under pressure from Andy. But of course, Andy has yet. But look at this. Herman has now just created a little bit of a gap. So is he going to be outside of DRS range by the time that we approach the DRS detection zone? I don't think we will be. We will just see, as I can see it in the bottom left here. So once we see that green dot on the track map, that is the detection zone. And Andy Andre was underneath the second there. So that means he will have DRS coming on to the start-finish straight. So here we go. In the slipstream with the DRS. Will he make the overtake for third? No. Andy Andre as well does have to remember that Herman does carry a penalty, and that's Mr. Wouter, another driver with a penalty. So let's have a look at the totals. Herman the German with 10 seconds, like I thought, due to gaining a place by cutting the corner. So he will need to serve that before the end of the race. Quan has again left the session. So unfortunately for him, he also carries a penalty, speaking of, but fellow son as well carries not only a 3-second penalty, but oh no, Scott's had another moment. Scott's had a moment in turn number 5, similar to Daryl, and unfortunately missing part of his front ring. The Haas misery continues for Scott. DNF in the last race, and now has damaged this race. Unfortunately for him, it goes from bad to worse. His luck is absolutely rotten as of right now. We'll have to have a look at the tyres, though. Most have pitted onto hards. Well, most of the drivers that have pitted already, which is just fellow Son and Daryl so far, on hard. So they're probably trying to look at one stopping this race. Here we go. Truckster, though, is going for the lead of the race, although it is kind of irrelevant so far because Truckster, again, carrying that penalty, which he can only serve at the end of the race. Andernan there, trying not to lock up into the back of Truckster there. Rush the Syria as well, swapping positions with pleasant stake, of course, thanks to Scott's misfortunes, as Enzo there as well improves a couple of positions. Quan has joined back in. Anno, can a man get a Haas win in this house? No, apparently not. Hello, Anno. Welcome to the best track in the world, indeed. Your favorite track, Portimao. To be honest, if you're going to do, oh god, I've got F1 car is one of your best options. Oh, he approves. Okay, interesting. He doesn't like Algarve all that much. But anyway, focusing on what's going on right now. In 4th position, we have Andy Andre, and actually the gap is beginning to close a little bit. It was down 3/10 as it stands right now. So now make that half a second. So I wonder if there's some battling going on with Andernan and Truckster. And Truckster having a bit of a moment there, what it looked like. I don't know why he was defending. Remember, he has that penalty to serve. Lots of battles are happening in the midfield. Herman the German decides to come in, so we're actually starting to see the soft tyres wear out. And it looks like Herman the German is the first one to pit, but look at this. Energetic 6 as well comes in. Pleasant State comes in, and Rush the Syria. Will anyone else follow suit? Will the 4 drivers between 14th and 17th also follow in? Like the others, we will soon see. But of course, they will have cars behind who are on fresher tyres, trying to cover who they will need to cover off, or at least try to. But of course, I do believe that because they are on fresher tyres, they will not be possible. So they will relegate themselves back into the bottom 3 positions. So, as it stands right now, pit stops are underway. Herman the German comes out in 12th position behind Pleasant Snake, who is 11th. Of course, he was your winner last time out, but unfortunately not showing the same pace as last time. At the moment as well, Scott had an incident, as well as Daryl and fellow Son. So that is why you see them at the bottom of the board. And at the moment, in terms of the race as well for the lead, both leaders now come in. I do believe Antonov was actually trying to avoid a speeding penalty there because he looked really slow coming into the pits. So, as it stands right now, looks like Antonov could be in real trouble here. Now, remember, Truckster can't serve his 3-second penalty in this pit stop, so he has to serve that. And Quan has officially retired from the session. He will continue no further. He was in and out, so he's your first DNF, and again, for 2 races in a row, Quan unable to set any sort of impression. Truckster comes out in 5th, but now the 2 Kick Salbers do battle, and as it stands right now, the teammates don't want to make contact, and there we go. Antonin eventually slots himself back into the lead of this battle, but unfortunately all that battling allowed Kovachka into 7th, and he might have a run on Antonin here. We'll stay on board with him. It wasn't quite enough, but in the end, it's still Kovachka in 7th. Toby as well and Skid Solo swap positions in the pit lane somehow, and that's all said and done. But Herman the German, remember, had a 10-second penalty. Kovachka with the next driver with a 3-second penalty, and look at Enzo off. And I think that is turn number 9, I think. Don't quote me on that. No, that is, yeah, it's turn number 9. I'm going to say turn number 9 for now. But Enzo struggling with 30 lap old hards. He will have to stop again, of course. Scott looks like he's the potential for the 1 stop here, but if you've gone from the softs to the mediums, you will need, or medium to softs, you might need to stop one more time. Race Chase also up into 3rd position, but he's yet to make a stop on the others behind. Quincy and Toby swap position for 17th as it stands right now, but Scott not making any inroads to get away from this battling pack as it stands right now. Of course, Skid Solo just made his pit stop. We have a caution in sector 1. That is, I think, just for a slow vehicle. Herman the German with the fastest lap with 1:19.7. The Ferrari makes a mistake nearly into the wall, definitely goes into the polystyrene barrier. But at the moment, he's all well good to continue. The Red Bull of, who is that? Is that Fellow Son? Yeah, it was Fellow Son there, just parking it. So he must have been allowing lap cars through. I do believe that's what that was. So Fellow Son already lapped. That'll be due to his pit stop. Yeah, because I can see an Alpine in front of him. And that is of Daryl, I believe. So yeah, Daryl, so he's been lapped from... No, that's not... No, I think he's been lapped from the RB. So yeah, lapped from 1st to... I think that is about 14th. So yeah, no, Herman the German, however, is now looking to do battle with Evor. And here we go. Herman the German on a recovery round the outside here. Can he make that stick? There is contact between them as it stands right now. And they get through in the end. But a bit forceful from Herman the German. He won't mind, though, because that means he is improved. But he could have waited till the DRSO. But now Rush the Siri looking to capitalize all that round the inside of the final corner. Has he got this done? And look at Herman there. Looks like he's lacking straight line speed. They both have the DRS on Herman the German. 3 wide into turn number 1. Maybe no. Fellow Son retires as well. That is, of course, in the pit lane. So Fellow Son didn't think it was worthwhile, and he will not finish. That's a real shame. But side by side with Herman the German again, Evor actually somehow took advantage of all of that, and now they both have DRS and are going side by side. Scott as well has had a bit of a moment as well, apparently. He's lost that position with Toby and Quincy, but in the end, it is Herman the German who has won out on that battle with Rush the Siri, and is now back in 10th, but will need to catch up to Evor yet again, and perhaps time is passing a little better, to be honest. He got caught absolutely cold on the start-finish straight and had nothing to defend it with. I just want to bring your attention to the top 3 as well, because they haven't made their pit stops as of yet. Andy Andre and Mr. Welter yet to make pit stops. So we have a caution in sector 3 for a kick Sauber. Who is that? It was for Enzo. No damage to his car so far. Just a little bit of a moment as Andernan also now Race Chase finally making a pit stop. So that means Andernan improves. He's lost out 3 seconds thanks to being slow in the pit lane. And it's now outside of Truckster's window. And in terms of a pit stop window for Andy here, he really needs to consider coming in sooner rather than later. Because drivers behind him on fresher tyres, he might just lose out to Energetic 6 in 5th, which of course we did not expect to see him there. Making great progress on his finishing position last time around. Energetic 6 scoring high for the Red Bulls, but Mr. Welter as well, more importantly, scoring high for the Williams. As it stands right now, we still need to see a pit stop from him and Andy Andre, though, before we can say that this race is fully settled down. Pleasant Stake as well, again, doing battle with Evil there. So Rush the Siri has actually gotten away from this quite considerably. So all the messing around has allowed Rush the Siri to go and chase after Herman the German. As it stands, so Herman the German in 8th, looking to recover. Will his teammate help him? But teammate is in a battle of his own, so I don't think he's going to drop back just to help him. And plus, that might involve Jolly Boy John in a battle which is not necessarily his own. It seems to be the midfield where everything is stacked at the moment. So, everybody has separated out. We had an action-packed first few laps here. And now we are seeing Jolly Boy John overtake Kavashka as Herman German sets the fastest lap of the race. 1:19.580. I did forget to do this earlier on, but the lap record is held currently by Sir Lewis Hamilton with a 1:18.750, which was set in the Mercedes W11 back in 2020 when Formula 1 first attended this circuit. Although it was supposed to originally be for them between in 2008 when the circuit was originally opened. However, due to financial reasons, that did not happen. So, at the moment, let's see what is going on in other places. Rush the Siri cashing up to Herman the German. It's all kind of begun to separate out. Jolly Boy John as well has caught up to 5th position. So John really in a hot seat at the moment. Definitely pushing that RB as far as it could go. But Energetic 6 will be under some pressure. We approached lap number 20 out of 33, and Mr. Welter and Andy Andre still yet to stop as it stands right now. But here we go. Jolly Boy John will have the DRS. He is cashing Energetic 6. He's only on fresh tyres by a lap and sets the fastest lap time, 1:19.524. So we haven't seen the lap record broken in a race as of yet. Usually we have by now, as Pleasant Stake finally makes his move on Rush the Siri as well. So Pleasant Stake up into 9th. Rush the Siri tried to fight back there, but he'll be looking to catch Herman the German. Kavachka as well. That's his teammate up in 7th. So maybe Kavachka could actually try and help him now, because all of a sudden Kavachka must have made a mistake somewhere. He's trying to go side by side with Herman, but it's little to no use. And now surely, with Kavachka making an error somewhere, unfortunately, this might mean that Pleasant Stake is at least promoted up into 8th position. So we'll keep an eye on this as it stands right now. But Jolly Boy John will be close to the back of the Red Bull of Energetic 6 for 5th position. So we'll go through the DRS zone again. I want to keep an eye on a couple of other battles though. So we have Pleasant Stake and Kavachka. It looks like they are going to wait till the DRS zone to make their move. They're probably communicating and saying, look mate, I really need to get past and try and recover what little race I have left, because I need to make moves on this championship. And there we go. And actually his teammate actually just comes into the pits, so that will at least give his teammate DRS. Will that bring him into the DRS zone? So Pleasant Stake has 1 lap to find the DRS of Herman the German, and that's a good start by being given DRS to begin with. Race Chase up into 11th as well. Not been the best race for him either. Unfortunately, dropped down outside the top 10, but still within a point-scoring opportunity. But now we have a battle for 5th place with Energetic 6 and Jolly Boy John. So finally, he's made his move, and look at that, easy as you like. As Rush the Siri and Pleasant Stake do battle again. This is not going to help Pleasant Stake at all. unfortunately for him, this means it goes side by side, but rush the series right, and 3-second penalty. That's not going to help. And Enzo not too far behind that. But unfortunately for Rush Nasiri, not only is he 2.2 seconds behind Herman, he has now got a 3-second penalty and will need a miracle to improve any further. But now Mr. Wouter and Andy Andre are in the pits. Andanan has brought down that gap to below 3 seconds. So at the moment, Andanan is in position to win. But wow, Andy Andre there inspiringly goes on to the softs. So this means that he'll have the pace advantage over the mediums, but towards the end of the race, will they become a bit unuseful? But look at this. Down the inside, Jolly Boy John up into the podium. Energetic 6 as well, trying to get involved in all of this. But that's not what Andy Andre would have wanted. Well, suboptimal for him. But now, look at this. We have Mr. Walter getting himself involved in the battle with Pleasant Snake and Rush Nasiri very briefly there. At the moment, Mr. Walter will be needing to have a 3-second penalty. So can Pleasant Snake at least stay within the DRS of Mr. Walter? We will find out over the race. Enzo overtakes Daryl for 13th position. Daryl having a disappointing race considering. Quincy as well up into 15th. Them and Toby have been going hammer and tong with each other since pretty much lap 1 of the race. And now we're at lap 21 of 33 even. And it looks like they are going to do battle for the rest of the race. Scott is also in there as well. Not where he would have wanted to play. He qualified 3rd down in 17th. So, well, Andy Andre passes. Well, now has an opportunity to pass, but it needs to be now or never. Remember, Andanan is 6 seconds down the road. That is 12 laps to do it. Andy makes the move, as well as Energetic 6. So, unfortunately, Jolly Boy John losing 2 positions as it stands right now. But the Red Bull went slightly wide there. So that allowed Jolly Boy back through. But Andy Andre now looking like he will be on the move to second place Andanan. Well, first place as it stands right now in front. So will he be looking to steal a podium? But look at that, the Red Bull sister teams go side by side. There's a brief amount of contact. Saidu saying, come on, Andre. Looking good so far. Half a second taken out this lap already. And Andanan as well has made a mistake, I believe. And that he's lost half a second to Truckster outside that 3-second window as it stands right now. And that's allowed Andy Andre to give a bit of a catch-up as well. But at the moment, the Red Bull sister teams, and look at that, Toby and Quincy swapping yet again. You love to see it. But as it stands, this is the closest battle on track. 4th and 5th, unless you count Quincy as well. So Quincy and Toby fighting for that last points-paying position. Scott's in there as well, remember. So he might just be waiting to pounce, you know. Andy has, well, Andranan even has got back into that window as Andy sets the fastest lap of 1:19.290. It looks like that. Well, that's fastest lap so far, as I just said. And now the gap is down to 4.8 seconds. A bit of a lock-up there. Bit of a moment with the rear of the car. But he is looking good so far. Looked like he was beyond white lines there, but the game looks like it didn't record anything. So we'll see how that plays out. But Andanan has come out of that 3-second window yet again. It looks like Truckster's finding the pace on those mediums late into the race. We have 11 laps to go as it stands right now. But look at this. All 3 cars in the Red Bull sister team, apart from one, of course, fellow son, who retired in the pit lane, as well as Quan, looking like they are all ready to do battle. Herman the German has fallen outside the DRS as it stands right now. Of course, he's on a bit of a recovery since his 10-second penalty for gaining a position by cutting a corner earlier on. So, Herman looking to get as close to this battle as possible, and preferably within the DRS. You see an absolute train behind you, which of course involves Mr. Router and Pleasant Snake. But Pleasant Snake, remember, will gain the position as things stand at the end of the race. 10 laps to go now. 24 out of 33. Keep it clean, and he got the win back. And look at that, Andy Andre as well. Fastest lap again. 3.7 seconds to second place now. And with 9 seconds to go. But look at this, Jolly Boy John overtakes the Red Bull, but Energetic 6 right back at him. As it stands right now, they go side by side through turn number 3. And now what can Jolly Boy John do? It's back up into 4th, but they'll have DRS again. Who's got it? It's Jolly Boy John this time around. Herman the German might get involved in this as well. Jolly Boy John down the inside of turn number 5 and didn't quite get it done. Side by side, Herman the German is right there. Be careful. Quirky Boy saying, hey, hey, hey. And at the moment, exciting battle between the Red Bull sister teams, but Andy Andre is on fire right now. Fastest lap, 2 laps in a row, and as it stands, it looks like he will not only have 2nd place, but will have the lead of the race by the end of it. So, all eyes are on Andy right now. The Romanian driver is at the moment catching the top 2. Now this is a battle, says Bradbury there. Hello, Bradbury. Hope you're doing well. And at the moment, look at this. The Red Bull sister teams. As Helmut Marko will not be happy. 1:18.9 from Andy Andre, so 2.3 seconds. But look at this. We have a battle for 5th position. Herman the German up into 5th as it stands right now. Can he take Energetic 6? Not close enough as it stands right now. But I'm sure in the 2nd DRS zone, he might have something to say. Let's just stay with this for the time being. Look at this. Mr. Wouter is also in this as well, so he's gotten away from Pleasant Slate a little bit. But if he's concertinaed into this, that means Pleasant Slate comes right back into the position for 4th, and that might do good to keep his championship lead intact. But look at this. Andy Andre is now 1.2 seconds, so the gap has come down ever so like a stone to water. So at the moment, Andy Andre has played his cards perfectly, and if he's lucky, he'll get my driver of the day as things stand right now, because he's played an impressive race. Toby and Quincy are also fighting for the last points-paying battle. We're keeping an eye on that. They are just swapping positions. But at the moment, it's a battle for 4th and a battle for the lead. Andernan's tyres, I think, have fallen off. He's not been able to keep up. But look at Andy Andre now. He has got he'll have DRS through the start-finish line. Look at how that gap dramatically comes down. That rear wing is open. Half a second now. I don't think he'll do it into turn 1. He might have a look into the 2nd DRS zone, though. But he is the closest he's ever been. He just needs to be within that 3-second window. But he will be looking to get it done on track. And Scott! And there's been a moment, I think, with Quincy. There has. So unfortunately, Toby looks like he's got that all confirmed. But we'll go back to the battle for 2nd. No, not quite close enough. Energetic 6 and the Red Bulls, though. Energetic 6 on the Red Bull and the RBs doing battle with one another yet again. Mr. Wouter involved in all of this. Look at them go side by side in turn 5. We've seen that all too common. But as it stands, it all kind of settles down. Helmut Marko, Angry Noises says side you there. Sorry if I'm repeating myself quite a bit, but a lot of these battles, very exciting stuff. I'm just ashamed we missed most of what happened between Quincy and Toby, because it looks like Quincy had a moment and he's lost touch with the final points paying position. He needs to get by quickly. He certainly does. So Andy Andre with it all to do. Antonan as well outside that window with Trugster. Of course, Andy will be on the faster compounded tyres, but can he get it done? He needs to get this done sooner rather than later. Here we go. DRS will be open again. He's the closest he was. And there you go. That is all said and done. With 7 laps to go, he gets the move. That was important. And look at that. The Haas of Trugster just in your frame there. And look at that. That gap will surely begin to come down. Herman the German and Energetic 6, though, do battle side by side with one another. The Red Bulls have brought the Williams of Mr. Wouter into the equation. This won't be what they would have wanted, but Williams will be happy. They don't care. Look at Energetic 6. They're going wide. That gives Mr. Wouter, who of course has a 3-second penalty, at least an in. But look at Jolly Boy John trying to look down the inside. Bit of a moment there from Energetic 6 as well. But now we have a caution in sector 1. That is for Williams. That is for... No, it's not for a Williams. It was for somebody. I'm not quite sure who, though. Was it... I think, yeah, it was Race Chase. So he had a moment. Just coming onto the 2nd DRS zone. And unfortunately, well, he's kept 11th, so nothing dramatic has happened. But Energetic 6 has had a moment. Oh, no. Energetic 6 with a moment there. Allows Pleasant Snake through into 7th. But, of course, he'll be just happy that he's hanging on to this. So he'll be looking to try and get to the DRS for 6th position, but he won't be close enough right now. He'll be looking to try and break the DRS of Energetic 6. Won't be enough time though, as Quincy yet again making moves on Toby there, but now it's just for 16th. But now the battle for 15th has reopened. Quincy now in the DRS zone of Scott. Scott really having a miserable time of it so far. But Andy Andre 1.7 seconds behind, and now we're going to see yet again the battle between the sister teams, of course. A few others have got involved. Mr. Wouter, though, right up into 4th place. But Herman the German holds it round the outside. Look, on older tyres, 3-second warning for Scott, so it doesn't matter now. Quincy will have that points pay position, or it will be Toby. So Quincy and Toby, yet again, have to do battle between themselves in order to figure out who will get that final points pay position. But Scott and the Haas kind of having a miserable day, and look at this. Drugster as well is going to lose the lead, but not only that, I don't think Andanan is actually going to be close enough by the end of the race, you know. So at the moment, Andanan is only going to get 3rd place. Those tyres have just fallen off very quickly. Oh, there's a lap vehicle as well, so Drugster will at least have DRS. That is the Ferrari of Skid Solo. Again, another performance where he's at the back of the field. So definitely we'll need to consult a few people with the setup, but that means Truckster will at least hold the lead, unofficially I must say, for another lap. But now through to the next DRS zone, Andy will be much closer, but not close enough to have a move. 7/10 between them so far. We'll cut to the battle for somewhere else, but look at this. Jolly Boy John has caught back up, and Energetic 6 has caught back up to Pleasant Snake. So as it stands right now, battles wherever you look towards the end of the Grand Prix. 5 laps to go, and it couldn't be better poised. Of course, the lead's already kind of all sewn up, to be honest. Andanan is 4 seconds away from Truckster, so he needs to hope that something else, Truckster gets another penalty so that he can be brought into the window for the penalties. But at 15 laps, those medium tyres do seem done for Andanan, so Truckster has kept those alive for just a little longer there. You see Andy Andre able to take different lines, but did actually lose a little bit of time there to the Haas. So we'll see how this works out. Again, they approach the first DRS zone on the next lap, so it will be 4 laps to go at the line. Here we go. Andy Andre looking to get this done on track, and it looks like it's a done deal. Here we go. It's the inside with the DRS zone. It's all said and done. Truckster doesn't really fight that too hard, to be honest, and I can't really blame him. It is Andy Andre in the lead of the race. He will be, at the moment, your winner, but we cut back again as we have an overtake for 7th with Energetic 6 there in the Red Bull. So he gets back past Pleasant Snake, but of course, Pleasant Snake no to fight back. Another 3-second penalty for Rush the Siri. He is down in 9th place, and he will lose that to Evor as things stand right now. 6 seconds indeed. Pleasant Snake there, yep, fighting back with Energetic 6. Bit of contact there on the rear between them. So he will not be happy about that, Pleasant Snake. But as it stands right now, everything looking fine thus far. Quincy and Scott do battle. We have a caution in sector 3. That is for Scott. Scott's had an error through sector 3, and Quincy looks to have solidified even 15th place. So Quincy will take a point away as Scott gets a 10-second penalty. As now as Scott, oh, another retirement for Scott again. Had the pace, qualified 3rd, had the pace potentially, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out. So that means Scott, Baloson and Quan are at the moment your drivers who are not going to finish. Andy Andre, though, has had one hell of a drive, and with 3 laps to go, an Energetic 6 and Pleasant Snake doing battle again for 7th position. A lot happening on track, battles that are coming towards the final lap. I think Mr. Wout has had a bit of a moment, because look at Jolly Boy here, had a momentum on the Williams there, and look at that, the Ferrari of Skid Solo just getting out of the way. Jolly Boy John having a bit of a squirrel there out of turn 5. Had to concede the battle for now and slotting behind Mr. Wouter. Mr. Wouter showing impressive pace so far. He has, of course, didn't attend last week, but he has actually really redeemed himself for that. Currently in 5th, unfortunately has a penalty to serve, of course, at the end of this. And only, to be fair, only 5 drivers, as it stands right now, have penalties to serve at the end of this race. We'll just have a look at the penalty severity. Yep, 3 seconds to 6 seconds. Well, only one driver, 6 seconds. That's just rushed the series. So actually, props to the drivers. They've really kept it together on this one. And Truckster looks like he is going to solidify 2nd position as well. 5.1 seconds between him and Andranan. Andranan, of course, got 2nd position last time around due to Truckster's 3-second penalty, but that's unfortunately not going to be the case here. He has used Andy Andre here for DRS to try and at least make sure he still has an advantage. 2 laps to go, and it looks like the race is Andre's so far. The light bulb in this room is dying, says Anno Arengrass. I'm not quite sure why he said that, but anyway, Mr. Wouter in 5th, unofficially, of course, currently battling with Herman the German for 4th. As Jolly Boy John gets a 3-second penalty, so now, and unfortunately, that was a mistake. I felt you needed to know, but unfortunately for Jolly Boy John, he now loses out on 7th. And it could be 8th as well. Mr. Wouter with another 3-second penalty, so never mind. Everything just resets itself, but Energetic 6 could be a huge beneficiary here. All of a sudden, could leap up into 5th. We only have 2 laps to go. The leader comes across the line now. Andy Andre begins the final lap of the race. At the moment, Mr. Wouter might be needing to make moves, but it might not make a difference either. If they begin to battle, remember, Herman the German doesn't carry any penalties. And Herb Wouter makes his way past. And at the moment, we have got the onboard camera, so I've had to cut somebody else. And it looks like most people have been cursed with the onboard camera that we didn't really want. But never mind, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, Herb the German. Oh, no! Mr. Wouter with a moment. Look at that. He's not put himself on a safe place on the track, and he is losing positions. We said he was in a good position to finish, but it has not worked out, and he is now going to lose several positions. But now that means Pleasant Snake can battle for 6th position at the moment. So now Pleasant Snake around the outside. What a move from Pleasant Snake there. Oh, that was the move of the century, and that might be just enough to keep his championship lead alive for the time being. Remember, Jolly Boy John as well has a 3-second penalty, so that means Pleasant Snake will be in the winners, but it's Andy Andre who wins. He takes away the win and is driver of the day for sure. Truckster in 2nd, Andranan in 3rd. 4th is Herman the German. Jolly Boy John will come home in 5th, maybe. Pleasant Snake, though, what has he got in response? He has to defend its 5th place. Energetic 6 gives us a show across the line. Jolly Boy John in the end, 6th. Ruster Siri, 9th, but it will be Evor. Then Mr. Wouter. Disappointing race for him, but Race Chase too far away to be of any beneficiary at all. 11th place, Kovachka in 12th. With a penalty, same penalty as Enzo, so no real difference will be made there. Daryl too far behind in 14th. Unfortunately. Oh, Andre. Saiju, very happy. Romanian domination has continued, but there you go. Kovachka and Enzo across the line. Daryl in 14th. Quincy in the end winning out in this battle, but at the moment, Toby looking like he is still racing. And look at this, it's going to be really close across the line. Can Quincy hold on to 15th? Yes, he can. So he gets the final points paying position. Quincy there, tell him in the interviews that Becali is proud of him. Well, I'm not doing any interviews. I'm not feeling too well, so I'm still a bit icky. So I won't be doing any post-race interviews. Unfortunately, I'm just not feeling up to it. So pretty much, this is going to be the end of the stream right here, right now. But I think, oh goodness me. Unfortunately, I did begin to feel a little fatigued there towards the end. But look at this. Andy Andre back on the top step after a DNF last time out. but it will be Pleasant Stake who I think will hold on to the lead. But of course, maths is not my strong suit. Truckster and Andranan did, of course, get solid finishing on the podium, so I don't know if Pleasant Stake will have done enough. But we may see more of him next round. Pleasant Stake, of course, was actually surprised to be on the top step. Remember when we spoke to him last week. But unfortunately didn't quite replicate the form. But anyway, confirmation of your results. And DeAndre, your winner and driver of the day, in first from Romania in the Aston Martins, of course, started from 5th. Then it is Truckster, who, of course, started second, remained second. Adnan started first, but unfortunately finished 3rd. Herman the German in 4th. Pleasant Stake in 5th. Jolly Boy John in 6th. Energetic 6th in 7th. Oh,
enjoy your evening, buddy.
Oh, I got, sorry. Oh, thank you. Ugh. But anyway, sorry about that. We were just interrupted there. Can we hear the review radio? No, I'm gonna, no. I'm not sticking around longer than I have to. But anyway, Energetic 6th and 7th. Evil in 8th. 9th, Rush the Siri. 10th, Mr. Welter. Race Chase in 11th. Kovachka in 12th. Enzo in 13th. Daryl in 14th. Quincy rounding out your points in 15th. Toby outside the points in 16th. Skid Solo in 17th. And your 3 non-finishers are Scott, Fellow Son, and Quan yet again. So unfortunately, Scott and Quan need to look at doing some digging, because that is now, unfortunately, 2 races in a row where they've not finished, and that means that they'll be in a really bad position in terms of the championship. But